Hello everyone, I hope you're blessed. So, in this one, I could actually say in this episode, seeing as it's a bit of a podcast style, I'm not on the camera, it's a bit of channeling, it's a bit of predictions, it's a bit of history, teeny bit of history, I'm not going too depth. And this message is there, maybe it's, what can you take from this? Can you see the prediction? Can you see the cycling back in history coming forward in some way or another? Or is it, it doesn't repeat itself, but it definitely rhymes. And so one of the reasons I'm called to this as well as the channeled messages. Where is it spiritual and where is it science and where is it science and where is it religion when it comes to phenomenons, UFOs and other things? Visions, discussions seem to be centered around science or spirit, one or the other. The UFO exploding on our screens right now, we can see where the split will become more prominent. And you only have to look at my other video where I've done why now in the timelines, why I think that might still be on members, I'm not sure if it'll be released, and the bloodlines, and there's one just before that. The phenomenon of science, the tech advancements that are not human is one thing. And then we've got the mystics of the world, maybe the channelers, maybe the psychics that see it more spiritual, or in the very least have a spiritual context if they're not, or don't see themselves clubbed within that group I've mentioned. Either way, the UFO, and I'm not saying aliens alone here, UFOs, you know, my kind of side of the coin on this, is guiding some of the mist and powerful times of our world today. Science is achieving miraculous things, and we can't neglect how science seems to be one of our kind of like a faith in our time, or at the very least mingled. So are the mysteries of the UFOs, the airships, the saucers, are they implicated in our past, present and future? That is definitely a question given the recent disclosure and more that we will be coming up to see. I dare say that astrologists actually might have their own say in this as well. Aldebaran, this is something I was supposed to actually look on because it was a message from Spirit, is a star in the Arabic word, and it means the follower. In India, they call it Rohini. And I believe the Iranians in Persia, Iran, have a word for it. And Spirit actually wanted me to look this up, so just 1 second. So its name derives from the Arabic al-Dabran, meaning the follower, because it visually trails the Pleiades star cluster across the sky, and the ancient Persians consider it one of the 4 royal stars, or Watchers of the East. Why did this come up? Well, I'm not sure. I should have probably just I should have probably stopped and tried to look further Why? I made a note of it, to be honest with you, and I forgot to look it up, putting everything together. But basically, together with the star Alpha Tauri, Aldebaran B, it makes a star system with the orbital separation of at least 680 astronomical units, or 680 times the average distance from the Earth to the Sun. The companion has an apparent magnitude of 13.21. It's one of the easiest stars to find in the sky, partly due to the brightness and partly due to one of the more noticeable asteriums in the sky. There is a reason how it ties in. And it goes to the full word in Arabic can mean bright one of the follower, like another word in front of it. I wonder if the timing was around this, but see, in Hindu it's called Rohini. So I will look into this a bit further. Oh, 1986. Oh no, that's someone that said it. It's actually quite interesting. It's got some history around it, but I'll have to look on why that actually came through to me, because it's not actually a name of a star that I'm actually aware of, to be honest. But very interesting Cosmos entry there, and I think we might need to look up or just be aware of maybe it comes to the forefront in something. But if I go back in history in the 19th century, it was the beginning of the formation of hierarchical structures. There was a focus on materialistic things, money, tangible things, and massive amounts of money was made by like Rockefeller, JP Morgan. And there was massive progress in science. The list went on from phone to radio to car to electric light bulb, and so on and so on. This is the whole of the 19th century. And obviously electricity was unlocking the true potential. In 1905, planes could travel miles. And the alchemists and the magicians that were known at that time was said to have visions and dreams that were materializing because of all these breakthroughs. So science really looked, if we look at it that way, science looked as the answer to the new age of breakthroughs. Maybe an answer to prayers, maybe an answer to visions, maybe an answer to dreams, prayers. And so it might have even been seen, and I believe it was, although I can't confirm, as a replacement of a religion for many. Around the same era, sci-fi emerged as a genre. The alien invasion of Earth was written in a book, and Wells started to speak or be known for the UFO phenomena and his point of view. People were reporting encounters of strange objects, beings that they apparently generally had encounters with. basically encounters with non-human intelligence. And that I would probably agree with. It was John Keel in 19th century that birthed the UFO phenomenon. There was strange airships. Thereafter there was sighted maneuvers and strong lights, which had not been seen or invented yet. I mean, there was light invented, but it wasn't to the extent, the brightness and the strongness that had been witnessed and had been sighted. And so then that brought it at the forefront. Tech wasn't quite as advanced as that. And phenomenon was nothing new apparently to Keels. He thought that the humanity had always had encounters of various UFOs, and that there was demons, there was jinns, there was angels, and there was spirits among us. Well, we've heard of the myths, of all those encounters of myths and aliens and the world and things that are around us. In the late 19th century, machines in the sky were seen, and that was ahead of the 19th century, so ahead of our times in that 19th century. So was it a deception of time going forward? And what was witnessed always seemed to have a theme, and it changed over time to different things like airships, the strong lights, phantom rockets, just beams of lights, flying saucers, spheres, triangles. You can join in with me. We've seen themes at certain times over time play out. There was many that would say they would come from different planets and places and were here to take, someone to different parts of the world, or let's say other worlds, where timelines and time as we know it operates very differently. We've heard of some say that they were abducted in the night while just laying in bed, but in the morning no one in the household or whoever was near in the bed with them saw anything or witnessed anything, but that person did. So the stories are not all consistent, and I think we see that right now. Sci-fi, a fantasy, yet there's things that are left behind and trickles. Stories where it's exciting for some, and for some it's terrifying. If we think of some of the stories, they are exciting for some people, and some it's terrifying. Some people think that they want to see the ET in front of them and have a cup of tea because they're friendly, and some are terrified. But it's no longer a sideshow as we see on our main screens now. And so faith, belief, and consciousness, and then the seeding and the sowing of myths is all seem to be tied in this loop. So with all that has been said about the 19th century, was that the seed for this? So is science as a method of faith as well? And I pose that question to you. A lot of people have their own assumptions. Science has its own assumptions and methodology. Science solves a lot of stuff because, breakthroughs, what we've needed over time span, it seems to be the answer to solving things to faith. And it acquires all that's needed without religion or faith. It has its own methodology and it delivers, and it's like its own religion. And science is now all over the place. TV, social media, etc., etc. So if we go back just to the end of the 19th century, we also saw a boom in occultism. And there was a lady from Russia who migrated to the US, and she set up this cult called the Theosophy. And it was founded, and there was a slogan that was, "There is no religion higher than the truth." And the lady claimed she spent years in Asia and in other parts like Tibet. And she was guided spiritually by higher masters. These masters that were hidden in the caves in Tibet that were guiding humanity. And again, here we see a strange hidden dynamic that shows up. Masters that we've not seen but are hidden away in the caves or the mountains in Tibet. We see that theme coming up now. Some are saying about the Anunnaki and the bloodlines, and they're all hidden away, etc. So, Theosophy, I might be saying this wrong, believed in the consciousness rather than the matter. Humanity were so dense because of the material focus of the 19th century, and that it stands on brink of the spiritual period of history. They believed in reincarnation and infused it with evolution. There was also a revival of astrology coming from the Theosophy cult group. So in the mid-17th to the late 19th century or mid-19th century, we saw astrology come up and then fizzle out. But then by the end of the 19th century, it was reintroduced, but introduced differently. And this could be because of the Theosophy cult group that came up. The introduction of astrology at this time was more free will and about spiritual evolution rather than fatalistic theme. That word comes from spirit, fatalistic theme. And of course there were other cults, but I'm referring to a subject matter that we're covering. The late 19th century also then saw spirit and a marketplace for spirit ideas. So did that seed also spiritual freedom, where one is free to find their own path, to steer towards their own spiritual growth and what some might call ascension, but you need to remain grounded as well as a human, otherwise you will go Lulu. And now we are following what spirituality means to us, whether it's tied in with your belief, your religion, your way of life. A modality is coming through by spirit, a modality that you follow, a routine that you follow. Now I have made a prediction in years to come. All the man-made religions will follow the Abrahamic prophecy, and it will come all under that. You might have heard me in my predictions mention this. So could we now be seeing the battle of our own on what's in front of us with science and beliefs? And will the UFO phenomenon be pushing or playing a role in New Age spirituality, science, the cult of science, and cults like Scientology? In some way, looking at what I've just shared and pondered for us, they all tie deeply, they're interlinked. And I go back to something I've said with AI and definitely science and even the UFO phenomena, because I believe, like I said, that they would say there's 3 or 4 different kinds that could come up. And I think some people are not talking about this in the right way or being as candid as they should in terms of what do they mean by the different species. And I just dropped a recording, so sorry if there was a bit of a bang. But it can be used for good and it can be used for bad. It can be malefic and it can be in the hands of the malefic, or it can be very beneficial, as we see. A lot of the underdogs have gained through this. Many millionaire and billionaires in a hidden way have used rituals or astrology, and I think we'll see more of those possibly coming to astrology, like the elites. Which also takes me, what about the science and the UFO for wars and nuclear wars? That's something to be discussed, I guess. I also believe we will see more of Steiner coming up and what he used to say or quote, and I haven't read any of his books, so I can't go down too deep into predictions, but that is coming through. And I want to be clear here, as someone that has a root of a religion, a spirituality, but my own concept around that, and I believe in God, that this is not about picking one or the other, but this is for food for thought. This is to watch the dynamics that are playing out and the possibility of history recycling itself or rhyming. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, give it a like, subscribe. You can also hype. I appreciate those who support the channel. Thank you. Take care. Stay blessed.